Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name's Katie and I upload book-related videos every single Wednesday, and today I'm very excited because this is going to be kind of a weird type of video for me to film. I don't think I've filmed one like this before. I know I did say that I was going to review After Dark by Haruki Murakami and have that up today, but if I'm honest, I just haven't had a lot of time to read, and when I do have time to read right before bed, I've just been passing out at like 9 or 10 p.m. from being tired. So I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to resolve that issue, but that will be my next video. But before I get into showing you these books, I do want to give some context for it because there's kind of an interesting backstory behind this. So I was at a 4th of July party. My friend brought me and introduced me to her friends who kind of live in the same area as me now that I've moved. And I got to talking with one of her friends there, and it turns out that she's actually a romance novelist. And I was talking about BookTube and everything like that. And she was talking about the romance novel industry, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a ton about it. I also don't have a ton of feelings, whether that be like negative or positive. It's just not a genre I'm super familiar with. However, as I'm sure you guys know and I'm aware of as well, there are a lot of kind of like, I would not necessarily say negative, but kind of just condescending views people have about the romance novel industry. So we were kind of talking about that, and she pointed out, and I thought this was super fascinating, that it's something like, I could be remembering this number wrong, about like out of all book sales in the US, it's something like 30 or 35% of all books purchased are romance novels. So it's just interesting that, you know, a lot of people are kind of like looking down upon the romance novel industry, when in fact, if romance novels went away, the book industry as a whole would just suffer hugely. Because I guess she was saying when people buy romance novels, one, they'll buy not just like one book at a time, they'll buy fucking 3-5 books at a time, and then they'll come back to buy more really fast. So I was just learning a lot about the romance novel industry, and naturally at the end of it, we were in her room and she had, you know, tons of books everywhere, and I said, do you have a few I could borrow? And she kind of laughed and she was like, obviously I have tons. So I had a ton to pick through. I thought it would be really fun for me to show them to you guys, to talk about what they're about, because some of the plots for these are just nuts. And then I thought you guys could vote for which one you want me to read and review, because I honestly do not have a single preference out of all of these, so I just thought you guys could pick. And I also want to point out that the name of the author that I met, I'll link her a website down below. Her name is Gemma Snow, and it's also interesting because she's my age, but she's written multiple books, so it's super impressive, and she was just so sweet and nice. Obviously, this video is not sponsored. I get nothing out of linking her website and her Instagram down below. She was just awesome, frankly, so I'm just gonna have all of that linked down below. Getting into the books, the first one we have is definitely for those of you who are a fan of, say, cowboys or westerns, and that is Shotgun Bride. And in this book, this man has, what is it? Not one, not two, but 5 mail order brides to choose from. Or maybe he keeps all of them at the same time. I'm not really clear, but I get the impression it's told from the cowboy's point of view as well as one of the mail order brides, her point of view. So if you guys are a fan of westerns, you might want to vote for that one. And for number 2, this is definitely be for those of you who are maybe fans of Outlander. We have Never Love a Highlander. And I should say I'll have all the titles down below so you don't have to memorize them. But it says this one is about a Highlander, and he's kind of just by duty bound to marry his brother's bride, and so he's not really interested in marrying her. She doesn't really want to marry him, but it's just kind of by duty that they're kind of forced to marry. And I definitely got the impression that these kind of Highlander books, I could see a lot of them on her bookshelves, so I feel like this and Victorian are definitely two really popular genres. Okay, this next one, I'm gonna be honest, at first I wasn't gonna put it in this video, and then she was talking about it, and apparently this book is kind of infamous. A lot of people have read it just because it's known for being terrible and just out there and insane. I think BuzzFeed even has an article on this, she was saying. I don't even want to say the title, I'm gonna be honest. And you guys know I curse, it's nothing to do with that. It's just, this is so... So the number 3 book you can feel free to vote for is Come for Bigfoot. You heard that correctly, not C-O-M-E, it's Come for Bigfoot. So it says, on a week-long outing in Mount Hood National Forest, it says, what begins as a flirty, fun-filled trip soon turns into a nightmare when an ape-like creature kidnaps a group of teen girls with the purpose of procreating with them. Thus begins the erotic adventure of a lifetime and an inconceivable love story between a young woman and her horny Sasquatch. On the back, they didn't even make the effort to try and get like the text centered on the page. It's just like writing up off the top. So there is that one. Then for number 4, if you're interested in time travel, we have Here and Then, and it looks like this is where a woman goes back in time to look for her friend, somehow looking looking for a friend, sends her 100 years back in time to a ranch in Montana, and then she falls in love with a guy there. So if you want some time travel romance, number 4 could be for you. Then for number 5, we have Put Up Your Duke. So we've got a pun in there. So this takes place in the Victorian times, and a duke is kind of just honoring an agreement to marry this woman, but she's a virgin. So even after their wedding night, he's just still kind of pursuing her because she's kind of scared of him, I get the impression. And then I like the bottom line on this, but it says, but has the realm's most disreputable duke found the woman who can bring him to his knees and leave him there? Wait, I thought that was a sex joke, but is it? Yes. Maybe, I'm not sure. Finally, for number 6, we have If You're Interested in Vikings. This one has a lot going on, even though it looks very short. So it says Bryn is many things: a shield maiden, a raven shifter, a horse trainer. I get the impression that whoever wrote this, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, I feel like you all have that one friend in middle school who's just like obsessed with horses, and she just like draws horses all the time. So I wonder if she was like that in middle school. Just all this shit, she can change into ravens, but she's also a horse trainer. So it says that she's like 1,000 years old. So it definitely seems like, even though it says this is Viking Fire, this one definitely is much more so of like a fantasy romance novel, because it says Eric is the guy she's interested in, but he's wronged her in the past, and he's a wolf shifter, which I assume is like a werewolf. So those are all of the romance novels. Let me know which one you want me to read and review for you guys. And again, I will link my new friend Gemma Snow's, not channel, I was gonna say channel, her website and Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that down below. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Also, I've been talking about this on Twitter, but if you guys are a Real Housewife of New York City fan, this weekend I'm gonna be going to that Berkshire's mansion where all of the fights have happened, you know, Dorinda's Bluestone Manor. So if you're interested in seeing what that looks like, make sure to follow me on Instagram stories, because I'll just be snapping the hell out of that house if they let us film in it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.